There's two strategies to feeling better. One is to simply try hard to feel better. The other one is to be better. One of these strategies will actually get you both. So what do I mean? Let me give you an example. So I was talking to somebody today. That's what prompted me wanting to have this discussion today. And she's going through a hard time. Work stress, home life stress, just, things aren't going, it's not her finest moment. Let's put it that way. And she's struggling a bit, and she was saying, I just want to feel better. When am I going to feel better? And I didn't have a whole lot of sage words, but I thought about it for a second. Something popped in my head. It wasn't a therapy session. Again, it was just a conversation with somebody. But I pulled up some of that therapy knowledge and kind of really started combing through the issue a little bit, trying to think that one through. And that's when I came up with this idea of the two strategies. And what she'd been trying to do is simply feel better, trying to willpower it almost. And there's lots of ways we can do that. We can meditate, we can do yoga, we can, employ lots of strategies, manifestation. There's just, we can try just changing up our thoughts and how we perceive things, what they call cognitive behavioral therapy. And we can do all this stuff to try to feel better, and it could work. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This stuff can work. But for a lot of people, it doesn't. It sort of gets them on the path, but doesn't get them all the way there. And so what I started to tell her is, what's going to help? Try doing better. Not just trying to feel better, but trying to do better. Now, what's do better? Well, that really is simply acting differently in the same circumstance or the same situation. It's taking action that's actually going to make your circumstance better, and then that's going to make you potentially feel better. So what's an example of doing better? Let's kind of tease through that a little bit. So let's say you are struggling, let's pick a topic. Let's say self-esteem, right? Primarily around the idea that you just don't feel you're presenting well, you maybe feel, not physically attractive, maybe a little frumpy. I don't know what. I'm just kind of pulling at strings here just to try to paint an example for you guys. Well, you can try to feel better. So you can employ maybe body positivity thoughts in your head. You can try to put it in perspective that, how one looks isn't maybe all that important. And you may feel a little bit better from doing some of these, employing some of these strategies. But for a lot of people, it's going to take that next step of actually doing better. So that would be directly addressing some of the concerns that you may have. That might mean looking at your clothing styles. What's that old expression? The clothes make the man. I don't think it's accurate. I don't think it's true. But potentially, that might put a little pep in somebody's step. Maybe working out. So when you stand up, you got some muscles, you feel a little bit better about yourself. Maybe losing weight, going to the gym, a little flatter tummy. When you walk into that room, you're going to be feeling a little better about you because you've taken actions to counteract the things that are causing you the level of stress or distress. Let's say it's a relationship concern at home. Well, the same thing applies. You can try to feel better about the relationship, maybe make excuses for your partner and the things that they do or the fights that you guys have and take responsibility for those, at least responsibility for your part in it. Or you can actively start employing improved communication techniques, improved conflict management techniques. Not conflict avoidance, but conflict management. We're never going to get away from conflict. And by taking concrete actions, therefore improving the nature of the relationship, now you're going to feel a lot better about the relationship because it has downright improved. Where you have disagreements, now you communicate about it better. where you have conflict. Now you're managing it in a more healthy, positive way that isn't leading to saying and doing things that lead to regrets and hostile feelings and negativity and so many of the resentments and all that kind of stuff. So oftentimes taking action, that's what I call being better, helps us not only put ourselves in a better spot, but feel better about that as well. So that's what I was saying. One strategy can potentially solve, both issues. It'll make you feel better and it will improve your circumstance at the same time. Simply trying to feel better might work, and you may feel better about a circumstance that probably hasn't really changed at all either. So just another way of looking at it, just something popped in my head after having that discussion with her today. And I just kind of wanted to share that just to see if it's helpful for anybody. If it is, let me know. I'd love to hear it. I'll probably be, besides talking about the typical stuff that we all talk about here, I may pepper in a few, relationship and psychology tidbits here and there as they kind of present themselves to me, just to change things up and give everybody a little something else to think about. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.